Yeah, Coca Cola Iceberg. They make them. This iceberg is actually pretty old and is from the subreddit, which I've looked at from time to time. I have always thought that it was pretty weird that you could make an iceberg chart about literally anything, as this one proves. And it is actually pretty good as well. I thought it was just gonna be a 2-page shit show of dumb Coke fan theory, but in fact it's not. This became a whole 15 pages of interesting knowledge which I had no idea was actually true or even existed. The Coca Cola Company has an extreme and special history. So many people, so many scandals, and so many deaths. Yeah, people have died with cola being one of the sources. More on that later though. It's really well made, even though it is pretty short. So I must give the creator, useless I honestly don't care Red, a round of applause. You fucking did it. You made an iceberg about Coca Cola. Slow claps all around. So, without further ado, take a glass of cola, sit back and relax, and see how deep the rabbit hole goes. New Coke failed on purpose. So for those who don't know, back in 1985 the Coca Cola Company revealed a whole new type of cola, which had a whole different recipe. This was in hopes of finally beating their rival Pepsi Cola out of the cola race for good. This was also in the waters of a devastating blow to the Cola Company, where blind taste test testing had revealed that people preferred Pepsi, so this new Coke was very important for the company. This, however, led to a huge flop where many loyal Coca-Cola fans were angry since the new cola left a bitter taste in their mouth. This led to a nationwide protest and media outrest, which led to the company reusing the original recipe and throwing the new recipe in the cola vault forever. Well, at least until 2002 and then forever again. But what if this wasn't actually a giant failure, but a giant success? We have to remember that even though Coca-Cola flopped with a whole new product, it did make newspapers and news outlets focus on Coca-Cola instead of Pepsi's taste test victory. And even though Coca-Cola stocks plummeted, they rose right back up afterwards and even began to rise. This could easily have been the Coke company's way of dealing a blow to Pepsi, which it was. Old Coke made with cocaine. So a thing you might have heard of on the internet is the fact that the old recipe for Coca-Cola back in 1884 included cocaine, which is true. It is said that this was because old Coke should increase one's sex drive, because nothing gets me more in the mood for fucking than cocaine. Other than that, the caffeine-filled coconut, no not coconut, coconut, was the other main ingredient. That is also where the name comes from, cocaine and coca. Yes, the cocaine beverage. The beverage included cocaine all the way until 1903, almost 20 years after the founding of the original recipe. The cocaine was removed by Asa Griggs Candler, who got the rights to the cola recipe in 1891 and began experimenting with it. It's important to note that cola wasn't the big deal it is today back in the end of the 1800s. So it wasn't like cocaine-filled Coke was something you could just get in the local stores. Pemberton's French Wine Coca. The Pemberton French Wine Coca was a coca wine made by John Stitz Pemberton. You surprised? He was the creator and founder of Coca-Cola, and this was but one of his many beverages. This is not a new type of drink, or even that closely related to modern day cola. It was actually made back in 1899, which was way before cola became the big star it is today. Pemberton's French wine Coca was actually the very first name given to the Coca-Cola beverage. And yes, Pemberton's French wine Coca also included cocaine. God damn, Pemberton, what are you trying to sell? Are you addicted or something? Oh, okay. And just like the original Coke, the Coca wine was also supposed to help people medically, but it never became anything special. It was mostly, if not only, the upper class people who tried it. Coke used in medicine. So we talked about this one for a bit. So back in the old days, many of Coca-Cola's products were supposed to help people medically. But again, this was back in the days where people began to do a lot of experimenting on medicine, trying to find something new that would work better than the last one. One of these new medicines were fizzy drinks. They should apparently be good for a number of things. This also led to a lot of people saying that drugs could help with problems. Especially cocaine, which a lot of people were into. Pemberton, Freud, Halsted, man, everyone was doing cocaine back in the day. Colombian Death Squad. The Coca-Cola Colombian Death Squad scandal was a real thing, which led to the Coca-Cola company being boycotted around the globe. According to The Guardian, the bottling company used a far-right Colombian militia group, United Self-Defense Forces of Colombia, or just AUC, to silence Colombian trade union leaders by using extreme force. The unions claimed that up to 9 people were killed by the AUC. This was supposed to scare off the unions from throwing wrenches into Coca-Cola's corporate plans, which they tried a few times. This ended, however, with having the opposite effect, being that trade unions around the world began a boycott against the Coca-Cola company. The company denied these statements, saying that it was simply people trying to shame the company. They used the fact that Colombia is one of the most dangerous nations to be a trade union member in, since about 184 of the world's 213 confirmed killings of trade union members in 2002 were in Colombia, according to the International Confederation of Free Trade Unions. So was this real? Did Coca-Cola really hire people to kill others? We don't know. Workers' right violations. So workers' right violations are pretty bad, let's not fool around. But I can trump your workers' right violations with human right violations. Cola tastes like power. According to pre-2020 IUF, Coca-Cola is straight up a human rights offender. These attacks on human rights can be seen in Indonesia with attacks on democratic trade unions. In the Philippines, they lay off workers for no real reason, destroying employment. In northern New England, they want the bottling company in Greenfield to remain union-free. And we've already seen what they do in Colombia. All around the world, Coca-Cola likes to make their presence, in many ways. A thing that is quite common with these violations is that they often have something to do with ruining a trade union. And actually, I guess it's a normal thing for big companies to hate trade unions, since it is more or less a wrench in their plan, but it's still a bad idea to intervene in them, let alone ruin them through threats and murder. Water exploration. So since you heard a lot of the dark parts of the cola company, and trust me there's more, now get ready for some of the good parts. Coca-Cola has as a goal to return as much water to the population of the world as possible. According to Coca-Cola's own website, it says the following: water is the first ingredient in most of our beverages. It's central to the long-term success of our business and the health of our communities. We have a responsibility to respect and protect water resources. They help make clean water reservoirs around the world and have helped up to 10.6 million lives around the world, according to themselves. Not only with that, but they are finding new and better ways to make sure that they don't use too much water when they're making sodas. Looks like they aren't that bad after all. Coca-Cola apartheid. Okay, I take it back, that whole water thing. They're not good after all, they're evil, pack it up, go home, I don't care. So Coca-Cola never actually openly supported the South African apartheid regime and actually left the country in 1986 in protest. But Coke was still in the country when the apartheid regime was in full swing. In 1938, the Coca-Cola company began to ship to the Dominion of South Africa, where they also began to make factories. 10 years later, in 1948, the apartheid regime officially began to be implemented. Coca-Cola gave a total of 4,500 jobs in South Africa. Of course, it was all under a separate stand where some people got paid and recognized more than others. And of course, black unions were ignored. Go figure. This led to the black trade unions of South Africa to fight back and started a whole boycott in 1982. After all this, the cola company tried to sell its firms in South Africa to a South African owned company in hopes of the production and jobs not being lost. With that, they also tried to donate money to the black Africans in South Africa. This didn't work and only made the Americans more annoyed at Coca-Cola. They therefore left soon after in a protest against the regime, as they said themselves. However, they got back after Mandela got elected. And now Coca-Cola owns 95% of the cola in the country. Some said that Coke never actually left. Donate to Israeli far-right group. Back in 2017, the Coca-Cola company in Israel donated around 14,000 American dollars to the right-wing group known as Imtirtzu. What these donations were for, or why they were even sent in the first place, is still unknown. The lack of explanation is most likely because both Imtirtzu and Coca-Cola tried to make this donation a secret. These donations were discovered by a document in the Israeli Corporation Authority. There isn't that much more to say. Cola gave some money to a political group and that is it. Most articles just say that the group has done some shady and nationalist things, but that is it. It is nothing more than a donation. Maybe we will get to see what the money was used for someday in the future, but right now we don't actually know. Thums Up. As a start, Thums Up is a cola branch in India which started around 1977, but the story is way longer than just that. The story starts in the same year Thums Up was made, but just a bit before. In 1977, the Indian government made new laws for foreign corporations, one of them being that they had to disclose the formula and sell 60% of its equity to an Indian company. This was under a government plan for foreign-owned companies to share stakes with domestic partners. This trick made Coca-Cola so annoyed that they left the country and left them with no cola in protest. This meant that the locals had to make their own brand of cola. The Indian company called the Chuchan Brothers made a whole new cola which led to the soda called Thums Up. And it's called Thums Up, not Thumbs Up. No B. How unique and cool. Thums Up became the cola of India and was sold almost everywhere in the nation, becoming a household name. This only lasted until 1991, where India began to open the market for foreign competitors. This led to Pepsi, of all companies, to try to win over India. Thums Up in India began what could be seen as a commercial war, trying to win the preference of the Indian people. This battle for popularity escalated in 1993 when no one else but Big Dick Coca-Cola walked into the nation, where they began to compete as well. This only lasted a year, however, before the Chad Coca-Cola company bought the rights to Thums Up for $60 million, completely knocking both competitors out of the park. Just as a show of figures, Thums Up owned 85% of the nation's market share of cola. This meant that in about the span of a year, Coca-Cola went from not even being in the country to owning over 85% of the market share. Damn Cola, chill the fuck out. Merchandise X7. See, now we're getting into the cryptic side of Coca-Cola, and that is a very deep side of Coca-Cola. As you know, Coca-Cola has hidden its recipe for years in fear that competitors will try to knock them out of the business. But it's kind of hard to keep a recipe hidden if you want your face to be planted all over the world. Therefore, they buy their ingredients through what is called merchandises. There should be up to 9 different merchandises for their syrup, which is top secret. And I mean top secret. We don't even know if they use the cola nut anymore. Merchandise are more or less specific anonymous mixing procedures of random unnamed ingredients requested from Coca-Cola themselves. Even though 1 to 3 has been revealed, 4 to 9 are still clouded in mystery. We don't know what they actually are. The one that is clouded in the most mystery is the infamous Merchandise X7. We don't know anything about this at all. Even the X is clouded in mystery. It's thought to just be orange, lime, lemon and so forth, but that is just a theory. A food theory. Oh, I guess you make that into an actual channel. The Merchandise X7 has been kept a secret all the way back from 1888, where Pemberton was said to write it down in his notebook shortly before he died. On the official ingredients list, it just says flavoring, which is the following. But that is the old recipe. We don't know what they have changed and what they haven't changed in the past years. What are they hiding from us? Coke wins taste test. So as briefly mentioned in the beginning, back in the 70s, people would blind taste test both Coke and Pepsi to see which one they liked the most. This was called the Pepsi Challenge, which was a marketing stunt from the Pepsi corporations. As it turned out, people preferred Pepsi, and by a big percentage too. Of course, Pepsi saw the potential in that and tried to rub it in everyone's face in America. TV ads, billboards, fuck it, anything they could write on, they wrote about the challenge. And the response only made it worse. In the many interviews with Coke employees regarding the challenge, they simply sounded paranoid and defensive, as a cherry on top for Pepsi. So if this was such a big win for Pepsi, then why does it say that Coke won? Well, since Coca-Cola is still to this day the biggest cola company on earth, it clearly wasn't that devastating. We have already talked about how the new Coke, quote unquote, failed, which was one of the ways Coke tried to keep its spot in the spotlight. But not only with that, people chose to buy Coke even though they damn well knew they enjoyed Pepsi more. Why? Well, they like to be Coke fans. That is it. They didn't want to buy Pepsi because they already were Coke fans. So as a whole, this Pepsi challenge can be summed up like this. Pepsi started out in a spot which surely would make them the cool kid of soda, but Coke's stunt with the new Coke, combined with their fans' utmost loyalty, led them to recover, basically spitting in the face of the Pepsi challenge. This proved that Coke is an unstoppable force. Coca-Cola Garlic. The garlic Coca-Cola was an internet urban legend and myth all the way back in 2014. The garlic Coca-Cola was an image posted around the internet, saying that cola, with a garlic taste, was in the making in Romania. In the image could be seen a purple cola with the words garlic on it. The result of this image was a long discussion about if it was actually true or just a shitpost. Since this cola was in the making, people thought it was going to be a secret of the Coca-Cola company, so they thought cola could keep it a secret. As it turned out, this was all fake. It got debunked. It turned out not to be a Romanian garlic soda, but a picture of a French cherry soda, which was all the way back from 2011. Damn, that's like 10 years ago. The Frenchman talked about the soda on a message board, and some guy picked up the image and made it into the infamous picture we know it as today. And there was never a garlic soda in the making, even though Coca-Cola are fans of adding weird flavors into their mixture. Soviet Coke. The Soviet White Coke Coca-Cola was a clear variant of Coca-Cola sold in the USSR in the 1940s after the Second World War. So the reason why Coca-Cola ended up in the Soviet Union was not that the Coca-Cola company wanted to sell cola to the Russians. It was actually none other than Georgy I defeated the Nazi menace and pushed them from Stalingrad to Berlin, Zhukov, who personally wanted the beverage to be sold in the Soviet Union. Zhukov got introduced to Coca-Cola by his American war buddy, Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces in Western Europe, and later President of the United States, Dwight D. Eisenhower. Zhukov quite enjoyed the taste of the drink and thought it would be a good idea to sell it in Russia. However, cola was still a symbol of American imperialism and capitalism, so it would be quite a scandal if he not only brought it to the Soviets, but if he also drank it. Therefore, he ordered the drink to be sold in Russia only if the beverage was clear, like Crystal Coke. He wanted the drink to be clear so it would look more like vodka and hit home with the Russians. Good old Russia. Zhukov got a deal with President Truman through General Mark Clark. The cola was to be made in the American sector of occupied Austria and shipped to the Soviet sector, which then would be shipped to Russia. Fun fact upon this cluster of a story, the Soviet sector was always very careful with shipping through the border, since they thought that spies and whatnot would sneak through, from Austria to Russia. But when it came to Coke, the shipments was never stopped, they just drove right through. Pepsi is older than Coke. So Coca-Cola has a long and deep history being created back in 1886, yet their counterpart, Pepsi-Cola, is also quite old. Pepsi being created back in 1893, they both have a long and proud history. But who has the longest history, that is? It's Coke, not whatever. Since Pepsi's history is a lot less understood and known than Coke's, then there's room for it to being older than actual Coke. But for now, let me tell you a story. Come over here, get on Uncle Dane's lap. Or well, my lap. That guy's good too, but this Uncle Dane. Fun fact, they're both outranked by Dr. Pepper. Didn't expect that guy, did you? Also, no one actually cares about the age of a cola formula, but sure, whatever rocks your boat. Fine. The Coca-Cola Company controls the world. This might sound like complete idiocy, but honestly, you should take a minute to think about that and look around yourself. Coke is everywhere. According to their own website, the Coca-Cola Company is offering more than 500 different brands, from sodas to waters, from coffees to teas, from juice to kombuchas, in more than 200 countries. Not only with that, but they also own the London Eye. They were head sponsors of many big events like the Olympic Games and the Pride marches all around the world. They are the world's 96th biggest company, having a profit of almost $200 billion, and have the money and balls to buy most companies trying to compete with them. Just like a Thums Up. Even though it might sound like a joke, Coca-Cola has a lot of power and influence in the world. They might not own it, but damn are they powerful. Pepsi and Coke are the same. So think of this for a second, alright? Coke and Pepsi have been rivals ever since the Fanta sun first began to rise on the fizzy world. They have clashed from continent to continent, country to country, billboard to billboard. It's normal to judge people on whether they like Pepsi or they like Coke. So what if, hear me out, they weren't trying to pin each other down at all? What if those sneaky fellas were actually on the same fucking team, playing us all like fiddles and flutes? They dominate the scene, trying to outmaneuver and fight each other, but they could also be putting on a show to get more money flowing in. They would be making cash simply by fooling around. And what if it was bigger than just that? What if they just straight up owned each other? Just think of all that hard, cold cash. Coke is good for you. So a thing that cola is known for being is unhealthy. But that might just be another thing we just go around and tell each other. What, the money? Oh yeah, in the bush. That's okay. That's over there. As professionals have proven, regular consumption of these ingredients in the high quantities you can find in Coke and other such drinks and foods can lead to heart disease, diabetes, alright, let's skip that part then. A small amount of cola now and then won't do any major harm. In fact, it might just help you. As I might remember from back in the day, there was this whole crave that dark chocolate was healthy for you. And it is. As long as you don't eat a plate per day, but still. Adding a bit of chocolate isn't gonna hurt your diet. So what about Coke? A bit a day aren't gonna kill you. So just buy Coke. Buy as much cola as you can and drink responsibly, okay? My sources? Next slide. Go on. Coke still has cocaine in it. So the main thing that everyone knows about the dark side of Coke is that it used to have literal cocaine in it. This, of course, isn't any longer than that. It had a bit of cocaine in it since they thought it was good for you, and look where we are now. Coke-free Coke. Right? I say no. Or, well, the iceberg does. I'm just a messenger here, right? We must remember that Coca Cola hides their recipes almost like North Korea hides their, well, anything actually. We have already talked about how they hide the ingredients by shipping out these merchandises from their warehouses, and how they keep their recipes in a vault somewhere. So we don't know what is in there by 100%. So we would never actually know if they still have cocaine in it. They could still be putting cocaine in their drinks to give it that kick we all get from drinking a bit of soda. Not only with that, but if their customers is physically addicted to their product, then you're gonna sell loads and loads of drinks to everyone in the world. There are people out there who are literally addicted to some type of cola. And do you think cola cares? Not a fucking bit. They love that sweet dough raining down their fat tits. And they're gonna keep putting cocaine in their drinks as long as there's people alive and thirsty for that delicious taste of Coca fucking Cola. That is, if they actually put cocaine in there in the first place. We don't know, and it is kind of illegal, but still, they might. Coke was invented by aliens. Fucking no. As we all know, the Coca-Cola company has a lot of dark secrets. But how did they gain so many of their things? Their secret formula? Or that could be almost anything in this world. Or outside of it. Their strategy and luck? Out of this world. I mean, come on, we all know that Coke is a sketchy thing. So the answer? Aliens. Fucking aliens. They gave us the pyramids, they gave us cola, and they gave me a reason to fucking shoot myself in the brain. Why is this an actual thing? Can humanity not do one good thing without it being fucking aliens? Get out of here! Coca-Cola is a natural resource. You know what? Fuck it. Coca-Cola is the honey of the godforsaken earth. You don't know about the Coke Mountains of California, do you? Well, I do, because I'm God. They are hiding from everyone, so they can make that sweet homegrown money from it. Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, Thums Up, it's all part of the scheme, you idiot. They were all the same from the start. This is all a puppet show, so you blindfolded people will keep sucking on your bottles filled with fizzy Coca-Cola while they are all living their real lives. Wake up, people! They're digging down the mountains, drilling it up. They learned that from the aliens. The fucking aliens, they're real. This is beyond stupid. So you now listened to an entire iceberg about cola. Now you thirsty for Coke yet? No, me neither. I mean, it's obvious that this is a meme iceberg. I mean, some are usually kind of serious, but this is all out meme land, and I love that. Ooh, spicy. I love that one. So how am I supposed to end something like this? It's an iceberg about a drink. No, well, you know the drill. Any criticism? Give it to me. I'm a grown man. I can take it. Got an idea to an iceberg or a video? Leave them in the comments. I'm not gonna care, but you never know. Well, all is well. See you later.